Today we are going to be taking a closer look at the new Simon Lizotte Proton Tesla, and for a nice little comparison video I brought out a Vanguard. The Tesla coming in at 9.5 -12 and the Vanguard 9.502. Hardly any differences in those flight numbers other than that turn, and to be honest with you, the other day when I threw the Tesla I really didn't see any turnout of it, so it'll be interesting to see how the Vanguard compares. Right out of the gate, I will say how I like how the Tesla is a bit flatter than the Vanguard, and not that the Vanguard is domey by any means, but those MVP discs usually seem to come out board flat, and I really enjoy that in the hand. We got hole 1 here, 315 feet, pretty much dead straight. From my understanding, I'm gonna have to put these on a little bit of anhyzer to really get them over to that basket. Wow, that held so straight actually. That was very surprising. I felt like I didn't really get that on the angle that I intended to. I guess maybe I kept it low enough so we didn't get that fade either. Oh, I got the Tesla a little bit higher. You can see that's the mistake. I think that would have been very similar to the Vanguard if I had the Vanguard in the air. The Tesla surprised me the other day just with how it was flying. I expected to see a little bit of turnout of it and I never really did. It's a disc where I really feel like you have to get it out flat, and if you don't, you see what happens right there. Technically speaking, this is OB, but we're not going to worry about it for this video. Drop. Wow, I soared that. And that Vanguard, I mean, I feel like I threw that as perfectly as I could have. Just unbelievable. Luckily, we can have some redemption here on hole 2 because it's a bomber. Just throw them as far as you can. It's gonna be a par 4 at 530 feet. Long grass on the right you have to stay clear from, but all in all, not a whole lot of danger on this hole. Oh, that came out of my hand early. There's a flight out of the Vanguard that was very similar to the Tesla on hole 1. That one really did just kind of slip out of the hand. I didn't get any sort of power on that shot. It's good to say too that we have a bit of a tailwind that's going to help stable them up as well. And I threw it on hyzer. Not great outcomes there. Just going to try to throw ward in. Probably over the OB and let it hyzer in. Oh, I bombed it. Wow, that did not hyzer at all like I expected it to. The Tesla actually came up shorter than the Vanguard. That's how poorly I threw it. We got a little bit straighter of a shot to it. Nope. I'll tell you right now, from those upshots, it could be a rough day. I would say I'm like 1 for 4 on good drives, but I'm hoping I can turn that around right here on hole 3. Just a nice little hyzer up to the basket. I would suspect I could put both of these discs pretty flat, maybe a baby hyzer, and they'll just fade right to the basket. That's pretty good. I mean, the Vanguard is actually rather straight, a little bit straighter than I had imagined. I really didn't feel like I threw that very hard. In fact, out of the hand, I thought it was coming up short, but it just stayed straight. So I feel like that's close to parked now. Threw a different line with the Tesla. I can't say that was on purpose, but I went a little bit higher. You can kind of see the stability work back toward the basket. It definitely came up a little short though. So that's where the Tesla stability actually helped me there, because I threw it extra wide. You could see how stable it was to actually get pretty close to this basket. I mean, I feel like on a typical throw that was way too wide. And the Vanguard simply right by the basket. I'm actually kind of liking how I'm throwing the Vanguard. Hole 4 for us, course hole 5. 485 feet, par 4. I would play hole 4, but trust me, I suck at that hole. It's pointless. This one, you got OB on the right. We got a headwind. Anything left is fine. You should be able to get up and down. This is interesting though, because we have a headwind. I'm curious to see what it does to these discs. Nothing really. I feel like that's a beautiful shot for the Vanguard. Exactly how it's supposed to fly, or what I would expect it to fly like. And I have a feeling if I throw this Tesla just like it, it's gonna fly almost identical. We'll see. The problem is with the Tesla, I keep throwing it on hyzer, so it's really hard to tell if it's like more stable than the Vanguard or if it's just acting that way because I'm throwing it on hyzer. Of course, we came up on the Tesla first. Throwing on that hyzer, it just dumps out so quickly. That was pretty. All right, here you go. Since I'm throwing a little bad out there, here's like a 2-shot comparison. First is hyzer flip, and then we'll try to throw flat the best we can just to see some good flight comparisons. So a little bit of hyzer, I feel like there's like the slightest flip up out of the Vanguard, but not much. It's just like a little bit straighter than I had ever predicted it would be. And the Tesla, you can see, I feel like it doesn't really hesitate to stay on hyzer like the Vanguard does. Granted, we have different types of plastic here, so that's gonna play a factor too. All right, in this last one, I'm gonna try my best to get them flat, but they might come out on a baby and hyzer. If that's the case, it'll still show us the stability. So a little baby Annie, and it holds pretty straight. Little baby fade out on the end. And I feel like the Tesla just fights out a little bit harder. Relatively similar there, but it seems like it has a little bit more bite to it. Hole 6 is a shorty, 275. I'm just gonna try to saw off these fairway drivers and get some ground play to the basket. Oh, I did not think there was a tree behind that huge one, but apparently there was. I thought that was perfect. Dude, I am not throwing the Tesla worth a damn. I'm gonna try my best at giving this a run with the putter forehand without it going too far. Are you serious? Bro, what? If there's anything that describes my disc golf game, I feel like that's it right there. 7, 260, low ceiling, tough gap. We'll see if we can get through there. Get lucky? No. It was all part of my plan because they landed right next to each other. I didn't want to walk far, that's why. Oh, I pulled that. Now we have a 320-foot shot straight ahead. If I don't throw terribly, I think I should be able to get both of these discs there. I mean, that's a perfect flight out of the Vanguard. I love that. It came up a little short, but so nice and straight. It's not like it's trying to fade super hard. Okay. I see you, Tesla. I feel like the Tesla looks like it could push for a little bit longer than the Vanguard could. The other day I did say it seemed like it's nice and glidey, but that's if you can throw it on a good line. And that was like one of my first good lines with it, where I actually enjoyed the flight out of it. I mean, at the end of the day, you might as well call these the same distance. Tesla going just a hair further, but it was also a little bit higher. That has been happening so much to me, where like, I'm hitting so many chains on the right side, but it's just too right side. I want redemption. Just needed to putt with the Vanguard. Hole 8 for us, 260 feet. Nice wide open field. I think just throw these wide on a little bit of hyzer and they should be perfect. Man, it almost, for half a second there, looked like the Vanguard was trying to flip up, which is kind of shocking, considering I feel like we never see that out of the Tesla. Although the Tesla seems like it does do a better job at pushing on the hyzer, at least from those two shots. Very small sample size there. Vanguard just pin high, just didn't push as left, I guess, as I would have liked it to. I don't know why I'm missing these putts so often. And then the Tesla, I mean, you might as well call it parked, right? especially if we make it with drivers. Oh, one driver. All right, guys, this is our hole 9. Last hole we're gonna play today, 340 feet. Water on the left. These discs like to fade, so that scares me a little bit. Maybe put them on a little bit of anhyzer to try to stay clear from it. I don't know, but I know that's short, but I kind of love the shot shape. I try to pull the Tesla over a little bit harder. You know, all day I feel like the Tesla has been a little tricky for me to figure out, but it's just because I can't throw flat and I can't throw anhyzer, so I think that's my problem. And the Tesla, we actually have a putt with it. That had to be my best throw with it all day, I feel like. Finally kind of trusted it on Annie, like I should have been all video. Bang! The Proton Tesla, here's what I gotta say about it. A little bit more stable than I predicted. Definitely can kind of see that glide when you actually have a good shot with it. If you put on a little bit of anhyzer, I do feel like it's relatively glidey. It continues to push. At the same time, it's a little less forgiving, in my opinion, than the Vanguard. So some of my bad Vanguard shots ended up better and further than my bad Tesla shots. But for some reason, I feel like if I had my forehand, which I don't know if it's ever gonna come back, my elbow still irritates me like every time I play. And probably just need to take a long rest, but I don't know what videos to do if I'm resting. So that's hard for me. But anyway, if I had my forehand, I think I would love the Tesla for my forehand because it does have that stability, but also has a great board flat flight plate and a nice grip for the forehand. So if that ever comes back, this might be a disc that I'll have to try out with those forehands. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think of the video. Sorry it was a rough one. Hopefully you still enjoyed it though, and if you did, hit that like and subscribe button, and we will see you in the next one.